Hello, my lovely friends. Welcome to another Flow with Mimi. And I really want to welcome you as well to this beautiful scenery here in front of Mount Cook in New Zealand. And also welcome my friend and special guest today, Jana. She will join us today for the flow. It is a feel-good flow, so it really suits for morning, noon, or night practice. If you feel like you just want to stretch out or ground, then this is your flow. You start seated, lengthen through your spine, lengthen through your breath. Find how you settle in, and then with your next inhale, bring your arms over your head, palms facing each other. Place your right hand down, aligned with your hip, and then reach with your left arm all the way over your ear. Stay heavy through your left sit bone. Breathe into the side. Come back up, inhale. Place now your left arm down, reach over your head. Exhale. Come back up, inhale. Let's come over to the right side once more. Reach all the way over your head. Lengthen. And then allow your top shoulder, your left shoulder to collapse down and anchor that left hand on the outside of your right knee. Reach up with a deep breath in with your right arm. Maybe look into that hand as well. Gentle spinal twist. Then sweep your right arm all the way over the front of you. Reach over to your left side and then anchor that arm on the outside as well. Drop down once more and then lengthen through your spine. Lift your heart through your arms to the front. Feel that beautiful stretch for your rhomboids. Fall over your legs once more and then free your left arm. Reach up towards the sky. Maybe lift your gaze. Same here. Sweep the arm all the way around over to your right side. Drop over your arms once more, fall, and then start to lift your heart to the front. Heavy through your sit bones, stretching the back of your shoulder blades. Beautiful feeling. And then free your arms over the side, all the way over your head. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Place your hands down behind your hips. Free your legs and find Navasana high boat pose here. Shins are parallel to the floor, and let's spread our toes apart. Create some space between your toes. Let them breathe here as well. Find your core, pull your navel in and up, and then reach for your heels with your fingertips. Palms are facing up, shoulders are open. Chest is proud. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Let's take one more breath here, in. Out. And then release your ankles down, cross them in front of each other and roll over your shins. Let's find our down dog here in your own pace, and then feel free to walk yourself into that down dog as well. Maybe shifting your hips from side to side, coming back to those beautiful lateral side stretches. Find stillness in center. Spread your fingers apart once more. And then whenever you're ready, lift your right leg up and cross that right foot just over your left foot. So the pinky sides are then beside each other. And with that, you start to walk all the way to the front of the mat. It's like walking on a catwalk. Really feel smooth movement. Be mindful. Every step counts as you walk all the way to the front. Maybe at some point you have to bend your knees, and that's totally fine. When you arrive at the front between your hands, just place each feet beside each other again and then fold over your legs once more with a really heavy head. Maybe roll through your neck here as well. Say no. Find length through the back of your legs. Lift your sit bones just a little higher. And then bend your knees. Sweep your arms back and around all the way over your head. Ground through the heel and the toes. Send your hands down to your heart, Samasthiti. Inhale, arms over your head. Exhale, swan dive down, flat back, and then only fold into two. Sprinkle your fingers down. Step back with your right leg. Bend your left knee 90 degrees. Lengthen from the top down to your heel. Downward facing dog. Exhale out. Lift up on your toes, send this wave through your spine. Only at the end, you start to lengthen and straighten again. Drop your knees down, bend your elbows, chest and chin follows. Snake yourself onto your belly, lift baby cobra, keep your elbows together and tight. And then release, maybe with the help of your knees, finding your down dog. Lift your right leg up, take a deep breath in, keep your right hip dropped. And then bring it all the way to the front between your hands with control, the slower the better. Find your forward fold here. Make you bend in your knees, arms back and around all the way over your head. Exhale, Samasthiti. Inhale, take another refreshing, energizing breath in. Exhale, swan dive down. Step back with your left leg this time. Find length from the top all the way down to your heel. Tiger curl as you step back without dragging the foot along the mat. Use your core. Exhale, down dog. Inhale. Find another plank with your shoulders on top of your wrists. Drop your knees. Shift even more energy to the front. Bring your chest and your chin down and then snake yourself through. Find baby cobra. Let your heart shine to the front as you roll your shoulders back and down. Release. Come back up into downward facing dog. Lift your left leg. Drop your left hip. Inhale. Exhale. Knee to chest, heel to bum, and then step between your hands. Lengthen. Exhale. With control, come to the front. Fall over your leg. Sweep your arms back and around. Inhale. Ground through your feet. Lift through your fingers. Exhale. Hands in front of your heart. Samasthiti. Inhale. Reach. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Swan dive. Try to keep your bum on top of your heels instead of behind your heels. Step back with your right leg. Ground through your hands. Lift. Tiger curl. Step. Downward facing dog. Come on your toes first. Keep your chin tucked at the start as well. Only unravel here in the end. We keep the knees away maybe, and we find Chaturanga Dandasana and then full cobra. The other options are always available for you. Come back into downward facing dog. Lift your right leg, take a deep breath in. Exhale, step between your hands. And then step your left foot just a tiny bit closer in as well, so you can ground the heel down in 45 degrees. And then lift up, find your warrior one. Palms facing each other, shoulders away from your ears. Bend your right knee as much as you can. And then start to open, spread your wings to the side and interlace your fingers behind. Send your knuckles down to your heels. Lift your chest once more. Maybe you want to do a small back bend here, and then from your back bend, come into your humbled warrior. Drop that right shoulder on the inside of your right knee. Lift the thumbs away from your sacrum. Let's breathe a little deeper here once more and sink, melt a little deeper with that exhale. Inhale, lift yourself back up, don't bend, stay bent through your knee. Inhale, arms over your head. Exhale, shift to the front and step to the front with your left as well. Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's stay here for a tiny second to ground through the feet and to lift through the ground. Have your pelvis in a neutral position as well. Heavy tailbone, hip bones lift up to the ribs. Lift your chest up to the sky without arching your lower back too much. And then roll the shoulders back and down. You're doing so good. Let's start again. Inhale, arms over your head. Exhale, swan dive down. Step back with your left leg. Find length. Every asana counts. This one is as much important as the down dog. Be mindful through every single inch of your movement. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale. Find your upward facing dog. Roll the shoulders back and down. Exhale. Find your downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up. Lift from the inside of your thigh and then step between your hands. Step in with your right leg 45 degrees. Warrior one. Try to keep the left knee bent. Tuck your tailbone under. And then lift more and more through your heart. Let it shine. Bring your hands behind your back. Then lace your fingers. Bring your shoulder blades together. And then reach further down to your heel with your knuckles. And then come forward, fold to the inside of your knee. Lift the arms just a little higher away without stressing your neck too much. Use your breath to find softness, to deepen your stretch, your asana. If I inhale, come back up. Let go of your fingers. Bring them over your head. With control, shift over to your left, on top of your left, and then free your right foot and step beside your left. Hands beside your hips, Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, arms over your head. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Step back with your right leg, lengthen through your spine, and then meet your right foot with your left in your downward facing dog. Roll through your spine. If you had enough of vinyasa, just stay in your down dog, or maybe drop down into child pose. Bend your elbows 90 degrees. Oh, actually we go all the way down onto your belly. Let's meet here, center yourself. Long toes. And then extend your right arm out over to the side. And then we start to lift that right leg up high, high, high. The highest point, you start to bend that knee. And then let it roll over to your right side. Maybe at some point your toes, or maybe even the heel finds the ground. And then embrace this twist here. Maybe the knee lifts up and points up towards the sky, the navel as well. You can stay there, or if you want to go for it, lift your left arm away. And then come into a half bind, wrapping that forearm around your lower back, and maybe even with the palm facing down underneath your lateral side. With that, you bring that left shoulder just a little bit further back on top of your right, and it is a beautiful shoulder stretch at the same time. Be mindful here. Whatever suits you best in your practice is what is best for you. Stay here just for another moment, and then start to come out of it the same way you got into it, step by step. Don't rush it. Every inch counts. Drop your hip bone down, extend that leg, and then drop that leg long down. Change over to the other side. Bring your right arm in, extend your left arm out. Lift your left leg up high, high, high. Feel that beautiful back bend, and start to bend your knee and drop it over to your left side. If your next inhale, start to lift that right arm up, and then come into a half bind, wrapping that forearm around your lower back here as well. Knees looking up, the navel is looking up. But still, even twisted, try to breathe all the way into your belly. Your breath will always find its way. Inhale, lift your arm back up. Place it down on the floor. Then with control, start to drop the right hip bone down back on the floor. Extend your leg out. And then release that leg as well. Bring your left arm back in. And then from there, find your child pose. Maybe with your knees slightly apart as well, so you can really relax and restore in your child pose, with your belly expanding between your legs, with your forehead resting on the floor. Start to walk your hands in and up. Tuck your toes under by giving some weight onto your hands, and then lift or push yourself all the way up, so you end up sitting on your heels. Maybe give it a go. Bring the bottom of your feet together. You're on your toes here, balance, and then bring your knees apart as much as you can as well. Inhale, lift your arms over your head. Exhale, bring them down on the outside of your knees. And then with that help of your knees, bring your knee in with your arms, bring your knees together, and then reach all the way to the front, dropping your heels down. So it's a nice, beautiful stretch for the complete backside of your body. When you had enough, just drop your knees down and then extend the legs out in front of you. Finding Dandasana here. Hands are just somewhere in between hips and knees. And your shoulders are completely on top of your sit bones. Feel free to move sit flesh away here as well, so you really find that bony part of your bum. Enjoy that beautiful alignment through your chakras, and then lift your arms over your head. Inhale. Exhale, still keeping that spine super straight. Try to reach to the front. And then let go and surrender and find your complete forward fold. Paschimottanasana. Relaxing the head, relaxing the mind. Finding this tiny short break between each breath where we find peace. Lift your arms back up, inhale, and bring your right knee in. Interlace your fingers just behind your knee. Then extend that right leg out. Bend. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, bring it up once more. And then start to bend that knee and then external rotate from your hip. Place that foot in your left elbow and the knee in your right elbow crest. It's like holding a baby. And then try to narrow your chest towards your shin here. It's a beautiful opener for your right hip. This is where you should feel it. Maybe feel like you want to rock your baby here a little bit as well, from one side to the other. Whenever you right here and you had enough, place that leg on the inside of your left leg and open your hip here as well. Drop that knee down and then use your right arm first to push that knee all the way down into the ground. So you're still grounded through your right sit bone. And then reach over to your left foot with your left arm. So it's like a side bend. You should feel that beautiful sensation in your right side here. Breathe into that right lateral side as well. Oh, it's one of my favorite stretch. It really triggers and lengthens the QL muscle. Such an important role for our breathing as well. If you want to deepen it, feel free to lift that right arm all the way over your head. Maybe coming into a bind here as well, holding on to the toes. And then try to roll that right shoulder back so it's on top of your left. And you kind of reach through with your head underneath, looking to the side. Still heavy through your right leg and your right sit bone. Inhale, slowly release, come back up. And then extend your right leg out. Place it just beside your left one. Let's find our forward fold once more, this beautiful after feel. Observing the right compared to the left without judging. Just listening to yourself. Seeing what the practice actually does with you. Release slowly. Lift your arms up. Inhale. Bend your left knee this time. Interlace your fingers behind the knee. Start to extend that left leg out. Drop the heel back down. Bend. Inhale. Straighten it. Exhale, bend. Inhale. And then let's come into our beautiful seated pigeon here as well. By placing the foot inside of the elbow and the knee inside of the other elbow. Bring the chin closer towards the chest and watch your heel as well. Your heel should be roughly at the same level as your knee. Adjust it, just if it's available for you. You can also just hold the shin here really if it's too much, if your hip is not ready for that. Slowly start to release and then place your left foot on the inside of your right leg and open up through your left hip here as well. Start again by pushing that left knee down, pushing that left hip down, and then bending over to the right side. And with that, we slowly start to open through our left side, breathing into that area as well. When you want to go deeper, lift your left arm up, take a deep breath in. Exhale, maybe find your bind here by holding onto the toes, but roll the top shoulder back as you do so. Look through and then breathe into your left side. Create that space from the inside out. Let that energy flow into that part of your body. Inhale, lift back up. Place your left hand on your knee once more. Come back up straight. And then come back, leveling everything. Everything is facing the front again. Find your Paschimottanasana once more, folding over your legs. Find love here, find tenderness instead of force and harsh forward folding. Stay soft through your practice. Come back up and then center yourself, slide your bum just towards your heels. Maybe hold onto your thighs to roll down. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself really a nice gentle hug and then lift the shoulder blades and the head away from the floor once more as well. Engage everything you have. Really turn everything internal here and then release. And find your Shavasana. Find complex relaxation. Your hands beside your hips, palms facing up. Heels are facing each other. Satisfied from your own practice, exhausted from your own practice, allow yourself now to rest and to surrender. Be free to pause your video here as well and stay way longer in your Shavasana. Shavasana is just as important as the rest of your practice. Whenever you're ready with your Shavasana, walk your heels in and then roll over to your right side or your left side. Take another moment here resting in happiness, having body, mind and soul aligned. Being content. Push yourself up with the help of your arm and then find Sukhasana once more. With your legs crossed, with your spine straight up, with your arms resting on your knees. Maybe reflecting your own practice here, your own feelings. And then bring your hands together in front of your heart. Drop your chin down to your fingers. From my heart to your heart. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and Jana.